Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So today we've got the Milk Boy with Attic Nista. What place did you come?
Fourth place.
And why did you decide to play New Salad?
Um, well, Salad 2.0, when it came out, it was absolutely unplayable. A hot pile of garbage, but I absolutely loved it because I am one anime boy. And then when the new support came out, um, I was playing it as a joke, and it actually performed.
Seems like you just have a sort of urge to play anything which says Cyburst.
If it's a Cyburst card, I probably am using it. That's the way it goes.
Well, at least you're known for something. Shall we get into the list then?
Absolutely. So we'll start off with the main deck.
hmm
So for the main deck, we have triple Precariatic Nesta. This searches your eye spell or traps,
hmm
or AI if you want to call them that. It can grab you. I think there's four different targets in the deck. So it's really versatile. It also has a second effect that comes up very slightly sometimes. You can make another monster's level 4, and that can help you make the Light Dragon if you're going second.
Okay.
We have three Achichi Atignista. This is your monster searcher for level 4 or lower Atignista monsters. You generally search Picari, or you'll search the recursion monster that we'll get to in a second.
Okay,
Uh,
so you got 6 main starter cards.
yeah, you want to see these in some capacity. So we have next for the one-offs, we have Doyan Atignista. This is your main deck Sunlight Wolf. It can add an Atignista from grave to hand on normal or special summon. And
hmm
if it's linked away, it adds back an eye spell or trap from the graveyard.
Okay, so you add back a monster, add back a spell trap, and then you just go on +2 and recur your resources like that.
Yeah, with this deck, you get back everything you put into a combo. So now we get on to the less desirable ones to draw. It's not the end of the world apart from one of them. First is Baru Atignista, the tuner. It Foolish Burials and Atignista on normal or special summon. And it's used to synchro, you summon back the material that you use that's not itself. Helps you extend, get the Wind Pegasus in the graveyard for protection.
Hmm.
Then we have Hiyari Atignista for my extender of choice. If you fail to get the field spell or you get interrupted at some point, it's just a great extender to have be searchable by a Chi-Chi or sign up mining.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
then the one quote unquote brick of the deck is Danmari Atignista. Um, its grave effect is what you use it for. If it's on the field or in the graveyard and you control a Link 6 monster, you can banish it to blanket negate one card on the field for the turn.
So it's like a hot red sort of effect.
It's a hot red effect.
Okay.
And it's not its main effect, but its first effect, which comes up once in a blue moon. If it's in your hand, if an Atignista battles, you can negate the attack and special summon it. Helps you not die in certain niche situations if you haven't already used the negate.
Oh, so again, it's like a Konkuri for
Yeah,
Autogeist.
there's always a bunch of different options with this deck.
Okay. So is that your main Atnista lineup?
This is the Atignista lineup in terms of monsters. It's quite compact. It's only 10 cards.
Oh, okay. Would you be playing any other Atnistas or?
There is one that I did cut last minute, and that's Gutcherry Atignista. I do regret cutting it because it's very versatile.
Hmm.
But that's definitely something that I would change about this list. It can special summon itself for free by negating the effects of anything on your field.
Hmm.
And if it's linked away, you can make any of your monsters unaffected for the next 2 turns.
Oh,
Helps you
okay.
play through more interruption. So that'll definitely be added next time.
Oh, okay. Shall we get into
Now for the
spells, or is it hand traps next?
we have some more monsters.
More monsters. Crazy.
Yes, turns out this deck can play non-engine cards. So first we have 3 Ash. Every deck plays it pretty much. It's probably one of the best hand traps, if not the best right now.
Yeah,
Does have
definitely the most versatile out of the lot.
Absolutely. And then we have a 2 of Ghost Bell. This was very much the 39th and 40th card, but it has some great applications against stopping things like Tri Brigade Revolt, any Drytron names engraved, Meteornis Drytron, and some applications against Dragon Link. It's just, it hits everything that this deck struggles against.
Okay, so you never thought about playing it as a 3 of? Or is it just more, if it comes up, it comes up?
If the deck wasn't already 40, I would play a third. But you do need as much consistency as you can possibly get, so I wouldn't want to put it over 40. That's why
Okay,
it's at 2, unfortunately. But I would play 3 if there's the space.
fair enough. So is it just the 5 hand traps?
Just the 5 monster hand traps.
Love to
There
hear.
may be something later on.
It's the
So
Salad
onto these,
2.0 in every way,
yeah,
shape, or form.
literally just Salamangreat if it was made in 2021.
Just Salmon with a big monster.
Exactly. So onto these spells, we have 3 Ignister Island. This is probably the most important part of the deck. You use this to start, extend, finish everything. If you've got no monsters in your main monster zone, you can summon a level 4 or lower Ignister from your hand. You're locked into Cyberses, but you can use this as many times as you want, as long as you summon a different attribute each time.
So I've heard that you've been debating between 2 and 3, or at least you've
This
been.
is the big debate. Do you play 2 or do you play 3? The incentive of playing 2 is it doesn't do anything on its own, which I completely understand. It can reset itself as well, which is probably why you don't need multiple copies.
And it's easily
And I
searchable
know
through a few cards as well.
it is easily searchable. I decided to play 3 for 2 reasons. One, um, if you hard open this, it plays through every interruption possible on your Dark Infant.
Hmm.
Um, and it also lets you run a special spell that we'll get to as a one-off. And it came up a lot today. Just hard drawing this is so good.
Okay, heard it here first, folks. Play 3
Um,
Ireland, or don't play
the
the deck.
list that topped the previous extravaganza was playing 2. That was Joshua Dickerson, a fellow Bobes boy. Quick shout out to those guys. But we sort of had a discussion. He still thinks 2 is correct. We don't know what's correct yet, but this is what worked out for me.
Okay.
Then we have 3 of the new spell. I Meet You, formerly known as Where I First Met You in the OCG. This searches an Ignister by revealing a monster with 2300 attack in your hand or extra deck. You grab one with the same attribute.
Okay, so it's just a search for the whole deck, more or less.
Exactly. And it helps you create sort of a triangle loop with this, Picari, and Achiche. They all sort of feed into each other.
Crazy how easily access you have to just any monster, which then gets you into any spell trap or into any other monster, and then the field spell just allows you just to throw every single card in your hand onto the field. It's pretty dumb.
Absolutely. And you remember, if you don't summon the monster that you reveal, you will take 2300 damage at the end of the turn. It came up in the final round of Swiss, where if I didn't summon what I revealed, I lost the match. So it was you do need to remember that.
Make sure you don't activate it going into time, or just summon
I have
the
done
guy.
that before. It did not go well. So next we have 2 Idol Reborn. This is probably the standard ratio for it. The first copy you can infinitely recycle, but having the second to search off Picari, if your Doyon's already in the graveyard and you can't get to Splash Mage, is really nice to have. Its second effect, no one really knows what it does, but it comes up again once every blue moon. if two monsters battle, you can banish it from the grave and a card in your hand to add a different ice spell or trap from your graveyard or banished back to your hand. So if you're missing a certain piece for main phase 2,
Hmm.
say if you're missing a monster in your hand, you can add this back.
Oh, okay. I've never actually seen that go off.
I used it once in the tournament, I think.
And is that 8 rounds in total? 6 day
6
one.
rounds of Swiss, top 8 and top 4, yes.
Oh, okay. So not too often then. And
No,
for some reason they made it a quick play spell as well.
the fact that it's quick play is insane. You just set it's like Pranking's Pandemonium, except it's fair.
Just reborn, smile.
And then the tech card, the other Atinista list for this invitational qualifier was also playing this, and I was really happy to see that. And it's eye contact. So
Okay.
this is the incentive for playing 3 Island. The amount of shocked reactions when I activate this, tell people what it does, is amazing. So if you have Ignister Island in your field spell zone and another one in your hand, you can reveal the one in your hand, place it on the bottom of the deck, and draw 3 cards.
Right, so let's just take a second to comprehend that. So as long as you have 2 other cards which is searchable through about 20 different ways, just put one back, draw 3, smile.
Yeah, and there's so much that you can draw into that can either help you extend or just like.
And the best thing is, just add the contact back to hand and do it again. And
Yeah,
do it
this
again.
is definitely recoverable with Doya. It's great. I had a match in Swiss against good mate of mine, Josh Bond. He had Summon Limit and UCT. I had an out in Feather Duster. I resolved this 5 times in a single duel over the course of 7 or so turns to dig for it. It was brilliant.
Imagine having a game where you draw 15 cards.
It's
15 cards
crazy.
off of 1 card. It just doesn't comprehend properly in my
It
head.
just doesn't. But that is it for the ice spells and traps. I did want to try and fit in a card called Tie Strike somewhere.
Hmm.
That's just a favorite card of mine. It lets you beat over basically any monster. But I couldn't justify it. Couldn't justify cutting anything for it.
That's understandable.
So
So
now for the best consistency spell, at least it's not an Attiness, the card is 3 Sign Out Miner.
understandable. Whole deck is Cyburst.
It's your 9th, 10th. No, that's not how maths works. It's your 10th, 11th, and 12th copy of your starters.
Amazing. So more consistency at a cost of a card.
Which you don't care about in this deck, honestly. You can play with 1 card. Or if
Oh.
you're me, and you don't draw any starters for 5 games in a row, consistency gets thrown out the window.
Oh yeah, we always love that. Opening unplayable is
Absolutely.
always fun.
So the rest of this pile here is purely non-engine, no cards.
Are
That's what I
we
love about
are
it.
we
You can play
returning
as
to
many
Monkey?
as you want. We are returning to Monkey, as you will see. We'll get more and more Monkey as we go along here. So,
Alright, let's see him.
first we have 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Shout out to Lewis who let me borrow these as well as the Ghost Spells and a card in the side deck, which we'll get to. This won me my top 8 match, so without this, I wouldn't have got my invite. So thank you so much to you, Lewis. But yeah, this card is insane. It auto wins Drytron matchup. It helps against cards like Appaloosa, which this deck does struggle against naturally.
Hmm.
It's just really versatile.
Okay.
And then we have, for the only other spell in the deck, Harpy's Feather Duster.
Nice
This
Saki
was
one off.
caught by the grave. Yeah, this was caught by the grave until like 2 hours before the event. I wanted a main deck out to Mystic Mine, because I've seen it starting to get popular now.
Hmm.
Um, I just thought, okay, going second core buy is not the best anyway. And worst case, it's a discard for sign up mining.
Yeah. And you can always just spend a few turns just digging for it with eye contact.
Just casually.
Yeah. Just draw 15 cards. You'll find your
Yeah,
out eventually.
you'll draw it at some point.
So
Now
now
we
we're moving
have
on to Monkey.
a couple of trap cards, just a few. So we have 3 infinite impermanents, which rounds out your hand traps to 8.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good enough number of hand traps to run. You're always going to see one hand trap, pretty much.
Yeah.
Is the logic. And then for the other monkey cards that probably don't need much explanation, we have 3 torrential tribute and 3 solemn strike. These are amazing going first. They're amazing going second. In games where I don't draw any starters, generally these are what you see. You set them, they can't play, and then you'll draw into starters later turns.
And in a lot of cases, just Torrential Strike is enough. Just to
If
stop
you
him for a
open,
turn.
if you open torrential strike, you shouldn't lose that game.
100%.
It's crazy unless you're against like full power monkey, in which case you need to look for your side deck.
I've played against Subterra before, and Torrential Double Strike was enough. And it was a little bit funny.
It gets you there.
So is that 40 cards rounded out?
40 cards straight. Again, like I would cut something for a Gacheriatic Nista. That definitely come up. But there's always room for improvement for the main deck.
Oh, okay. Shall we move on to the extra deck?
Extra deck? Most of this is pretty standard if you've ever seen an Attic Nista list before.
Oh, okay.
There's one change in my extra deck from the previous topping list. And it was something we both agreed was necessary. So I'll start out with why does Konami keep printing Link 1 monsters? It's Balinks 2.
Just grab your field
That's
spell.
about it. Yeah. It can also move itself and change its attribute under the Dark Templar, which gives you more attributes and more monsters for the arrival, which comes up every so often. But yeah, it's your Island Searcher. This is what gets hand trapped the most, which is why you play 3 Island.
You just always have access to your island whenever you need
Absolutely.
it. Okay.
We have Lingaribo. This is,
Trap negate.
well and behold, an actual Attic Nista card.
Oh, I completely forgot it actually is.
It is.
That was printed like a year and a half ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was printed in Ignition Assault. It contribute an Attic Nista monster special summon from the extra deck to summon it from grave. No one knows that does that, and it's great. But yeah, this puts your pressure against back row decks, specifically Tri Brigade Revolt, which this deck sort of hard loses to on the island. So yeah, that's really helpful. And the last Link 1 is Link Spider. Nibiru is your worst enemy. A lot of the time, you can make Link Spider with the token and just kill them anyway. Because it frees up your main monster zone, which is what you need.
And then you can start using the island again.
Yeah, and then you just keep on going and going out of control. With some of the generic Cyburst extenders in the extra deck, it's not terribly difficult.
Okay. Shall we move on to the Link 2s?
We have 2 copies of Splash Mage. This was the difference between mine and Josh's list. He played 2 transcode over this.
Okay. So was he mentality when it came to playing the second splash of the second trans?
He did say in his deck profile he missed the second Splash Mage. It revives Doyon. Doyon gets you back reborn. It's so useful. It helps you link climb.
Yeah.
Because you use one for your initial combo, use the second for the follow-up. Then we have Cyburst Wicked. So this, for some reason, can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. We won't question that.
Okay.
But if a monster summon next to its link, you can banish a Cyburst from the graveyard to grab a Cyburst tuner, which your Baruru is a Cyburst tuner. So it gives you easy access to that. And then we play Update Jammer. to kill our opponent.
Understandable. Good update transcode plays.
Oh yeah, Update Jammer is so good. So now we have the Link 3s. There's only 3 of them. It's all you really need. We have Dark Templar. Printing Soul Charge in the extra deck is kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, just summon 3 from grave for no reason. It also randomly can revive something if it destroys something in battle, which hasn't come up today, but it does.
Yo, Soul Charge plus Goyo Guardian. Let's go.
I've heard that's alright.
Yeah. One's banned, one's been averted.
And this is your first one with 2300 attack. So this is your dark target with I Make You, so you can search Doyon.
Okay.
Then we have the card that you wish you didn't have to play, but you do. Because Konami doesn't like printing Heat Soul. So we play Fire Phoenix at Ignista.
Okay.
This is your target. You need a fire target in the extra deck for I Make You. Otherwise, I Make You on its own is not combo.
Okay.
Its effect is kind of niche. If it attacks, instead of dealing damage, it can deal damage to the opponent equal to its attack. So it helps in against wall up situations, which did come up surprisingly. And if it is destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy a monster, and then it comes back next turn.
Okay.
You rarely ever go into it, but it's there just mainly for the I Meet You target.
Yeah.
And then finally, everyone knows what this card is.
Good old transcode.
Talker.
Don't need
It's
to say much
Transcode
about
Talker.
him.
What more can I say?
It's transcode Talker in a Cyberse deck. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
just standard at this point.
It is. Transcode can bring back any of these. Each of them have their own uses. It's brilliant. And then we have the Link 4. This needs absolutely no explanation. It's how you win
Just kill
almost
your
all of your
opponent.
games going second.
Update, go into it, make it
Update
4-3.
Jammer access code is disgusting.
And then because you have so many different attributes in your graveyard, you can literally just wipe the whole field with the access.
You generally have 3 or 4. So you blow up their entire field.
Absolutely disgusting.
So yeah. And then we have the boss monster of the deck, the Arrival Cyberse at Ignista. This is the only currently printed Link 6 monster, and I find that really cool.
New Towers 2.0.
Yeah, so it is unaffected by card effects, as if, it needed that. It gains 1,000 attack for every material used to summon it. The standard combo summons it with 4 materials at 4,000. You can do 5 or 6 if you feel like you need to. And that can, just putting this on board can just win you games outright. A lot of decks don't have an out to it.
Yeah, because once you get to a certain point, even Ball Sword can't deal with it, I believe.
Well, that's what the Damnari is for. You just negate the Boral Sword.
Yeah.
And then all your other hand traps and traps stop them from putting up any forms of interruption to stop that.
Because in Trizu, the only real way to out it is access code
It's their
Talker.
own access.
And if you summon with 6, then they have to use a Link 4 to make the access code. And if you just have one interruption on that access, yeah, it takes so much to deal with it. And then just one interruption on the access code can just be game.
Wins the game because they can't out it.
Imagine if Salad had a Towers.
Oh no, I don't want to think about that.
Well, it's now a thing. Just different deck.
And then we have 2 more cards. These are generally for utility. First we have Wind Pegasus at Ignista. It's your synchro monster. You make it in the combo to get it in the graveyard, because its graveyard effect is if a card on your field is destroyed by your opponent, you banish it to shuffle one of their cards back in the deck. It does target, but it doesn't destroy, so it's very useful removal. You also, if you're going second against Monkey, this wipes out 3 to 4 back row from one effect.
Who needs Duster when you have
It's Duster in the extra deck. What more could you ask for?
A flying horse. All you need.
Exactly. And then the last card is Light Dragon Asignister. This is your light target for I Mate You if you need to search for Kari,
Hmm.
which comes up quite a lot. It's also just a really good card. It's Dingirsu, but it's rank 4. If a card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach one instead. You can detach one material to destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as you want, up to the number of Ignisters you have. And then if another Cyburst deals battle damage, you can summon any Link monster from your graveyard.
Absolutely disgusting again.
It's so good. I entered battle phase with this and the Arrival. The opponent lets it all through because it's only 6,300 damage. And then I go, okay, effect. Bring back the Dark Templar. Game. People
Konami,
don't know what these cards do, and it's great.
Konami just needs to stop printing Cyberse stuff. It's just
No,
dumb
Konami
at this
needs to
point.
keep printing Cyber stuff.
Alright, says
Right,
extra deck.
moving
Let's
to the side deck. A
yeah.
lot of this is just standard. Apart from one card which I wasn't quite happy with, but we'll get to that. 3 Lancia. This
Understandable.
is probably one of, if not the best hand trap of the format, next to Droll and Lockbird. These two are probably in contention of the best two for the format. You have your outs to Tri Brigade. You have your outs to Dragon Link and Drytron, and other roguish decks.
Yeah.
This kills the mirror. I played the mirror somehow, and it was a really good match. But yeah, Droll just ends your turn. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that you have to think about playing this deck.
Okay.
So yeah, these 6 need little explanation.
Yeah, the 6 cards should be in most people's side decks for any sort of
Yeah,
competitive
if
event.
not main decks. People were maining Droll for the event. I just didn't want to come against Trizu with Droll in my main deck because it's only good some of the time. And I
Yeah,
expected Trizu to be like the most represented deck, which I believe it might have been.
quite possibly. It definitely was in the
Then,
top cup.
oh, absolutely. There were 3 Trizus in Top Cut, I believe. Craziness. So, this was a mate of mine, Joshua Dixon's decision of 3 contacts say. He thought the card was really good when he played his event. I have not used this once. I sided it in for the mirror match. Didn't see it. And I didn't side it in against any other matchup. Dragon Link now playing the Buster Whelp in the extra deck, so this doesn't do anything to them.
Mm.
And a lot of decks are just playing ways to deal with this now, so it's not really worth it.
It's pretty good against Trizu if they just do the fractal combo. Dropping it when they summon the Bear Bloom is decent. And
Yeah,
the only thing I can think of to out it in that situation is Barrage and nothing else.
that is true. It would be great if I played against a lot of Trizu. I only played against one, but I just didn't see it, so
That's fair.
it wasn't terrible. But I would have preferred it to be something else.
Understandable.
Then we have the I don't like back row cards. We have triple twin twisters. You don't care about your hand, and banishing with Cosmic Cyclone, for example, doesn't come up as much
Mm.
anymore. Um, so I just thought the double removal was nice.
Especially when you play a card that says draw free every turn.
Oh yeah, we shouldn't gloss over that. Just
But this card
drawing
then just
is
doesn't matter at
crazy.
that point.
The lengths that Yu-Gi-Oh players go through to draw 2, let alone 3, is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 copies of Lightning Storm. 5 is the golden number, I think. If you side in these 5, you should see 1 mathematically.
Especially going
But yeah, again,
second, 40 cards,
generic
6 card hand.
removal.
Yeah.
Just generic removal. And you notice any of my going second cards besides the hand traps, which you have to play, they're good going second as your sixth card.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
the last card was Called by the Grave. Again, this was Harpy Feather Duster, but I swapped them around last minute. You put it in going first. If you draw it, you can say goodbye to Draw Logbird.
That's fair. Okay. So that is the list. Got any shout outs to give?
Yeah, I did it before, but the Bose boys, great testing partners, such amazing lads. A lot of them did bubble out. Unfortunately, they got really unlucky in the qualifier. But yeah, amazing lads.
Okay. Well, that's everything. I'd like to say thank you guys for watching, and we'll see good old Milk Boy in the Invitational. Take it easy, guys.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.